Howdy, everybody, and welcome to the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around my virtual table today are Steven, Jr., Brie, and Brandie. Say hi, everyone. Now, before we begin, I just wanted to remind everyone that Random Rhapsody's two homebrew campaigns are finally back to their regular schedules. The Debauchery Circus at 3 p.m. Central, and the Fab Five is at 7 p.m. Central, every Monday here on Twitch. This week, we will also be playing Magi Nights this Wednesday, September the 14th. You can keep up to date on everything we do by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV, and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had traveled to Rowina, the oasis capital of the Margarden Federation, in an attempt to acquire an object known as a dream root for the erudite conclave in North Emia. To accomplish this goal, Blaznir, Kaya, and Ichabod had entered the Azure Championship Gladiator Tournament, while Corin and Willow were recruited to help Willow's former mentor break into the vault of the Federation's Zaim. Both tasks were difficult for various reasons, and the stakes were the highest that any of them had faced thus far. But in the end, the gladiators did win the tournament, and the thieves did succeed in robbing the vault. Unfortunately for our heroes, by the time this happened, the Zaim had already gifted the relic to somebody else. But in recompense for this, the Zaim instead offered to grant each of the winners a lesser boon, which the team quickly cashed in, so that Blaznir would get a new cloak, Kaya a tattoo, and Ichabod's family would be freed from their indenturdom.
You promise?
Well, we'll see. The tournament's end took a strange turn when their Minotaur ally Apollyon surprised everybody by threatening the Zaim while he demanded his boon. The Zaim, for his part, simply laughed and teleported the two of them away to parts unknown, thereby ending the event rather abruptly. The victory was further diminished once the squad regrouped and learned that Willow had been messing around with a set of playing cards she had found in the vault and accidentally trapped her soul in another dimension. And so, Debauchery Circus, the remaining four of you rejoined one another in the Colosseum's underground bar, and eventually said goodbye to the Fab Five when they went off to go find out what happened to Apollyon. Most of you have appointments to keep in the morning, not to mention going through the loot that Corin had procured on your behalf. So an early night wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. The warnings given to you by both Shadows in the Wind and Blood from a Stone about the dangers of being seen with those items is still firmly in all of your minds as well. Considering you are all smack dab in the middle of a city whose leader you all just robbed. But, on the other hand, as champions of the tournament, people are likely all wanting to just keep buying you all drinks and for as long as you stay in the bar. And so you all, as you're all contemplating what you want to do from here, a question comes to each of your minds. And that question is, what does your character think is the true meaning of life? And Corin, since you're the one who rolled, why don't you go ahead and go first?
Meaning of life is subjective. It's mostly just what you make it.
Okay. Well, yeah. But what do you make it?
Trying to make sense of all the chaos.
Well, that's absolutely fair. There's a lot of chaos going on right now. Blaznir, how about you?
Yeah, I don't know if Blaznir necessarily thinks there is a meaning to life, necessarily. I think he just, I don't know. I don't got much.
Fair enough. Lapis, how about you?
Well, aside from the obvious 42, duh, the meaning of life for Lapis is wandering, learning, and eventually going back home to, procreate and die.
Sounds about right. The circle of life. Ichabod, how about you?
Well, you should live a godly life, a life you could be proud of, and not to mention the Lord says to be fruitful and multiply, so family.
Yes, be fruitful and multiply. Absolutely.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Blood from a Stone is literally in chat right now and saying, do not wave your stolen shit around.
I'm real glad he came in to say that, because we all have rocks for brains.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
We're not supposed to wave this around?
I'll remind you at 7 p.m. to
Well, let's get some music here going on.
I've got a nice little beat I'm hearing.
Yeah, for some reason it's not doing too loud on my end.
So Lapis is the new name.
Yes, Lapis.
It's a little effeminate. Don't you think? Stupid.
So dumb.
It's like my favorite running gag.
It really is. It really is. For those of you who don't know why the hell we're all laughing, it's because Lapis is 100% a female, but Ichabod has no clue.
Yeah, nobody's told me.
It's
true.
At least once.
No, I just think they're playing funnies like you always do.
Probably.
Joshing me all the time.
Probably. But anyway, Debauchery Circus, you're all sitting in that Undercroft bar right now. Corin has just informed you all that what happened to Willow, and that Shadows in the Wind and Eyes That Sparkle have taken her body, and along with his two orc companions are kind of off on another adventure to go try to help Willow out and try to retrieve her soul, and also deal with the fact that one of the orcs is now currently in prison. So they gotta deal with all that stuff, but we'll deal with that in another time. Maybe I'll write a short story about it. I don't know. But
I look at my whip that Willow had made for me, and Ichabod was really unsure about Willow, but now he feels like a deep guilt for how he treated her.
Okay.
I do have a note that she left to us
Really?
It says, every time you feel alone, every time you feel lonely or sad, just close your eyes and think about the time I threw Blaznir like a rag doll. Willow.
Ichabod laughs out loud.
Not that impressive.
That really is quite
honestly.
lacquer.
What would you say, Blaznir?
It's really not that impressive of a feat, honestly. I'm like a.
I should
skin
give that a
bone.
try sometime.
You are 7
Go
feet
ahead.
tall.
I'm not 7.
Yeah, you're no small feature.
That's
Well, I'm
true.
tall, but that just means there's less muscle. Built
Oh,
around
is that so?
my legs. I don't know.
Don't sell yourself short, Blaznir.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not
he's too
you're a
tall
big
for that.
Tall. I am tall. I'm just not muscular. Very lanky.
Well, I think it would be good to keep all these gifts tucked away in that handy haversack if we can.
Gifts.
Yes.
Yeah, well, let's not speak on it.
Right.
Well,
I'll just.
Lapis does have a bag of holding, and also, you for the moment you were able to stash the things that you had brought with you, Corin, at the brothel, because there's a ton of money, and you couldn't carry all that around, and you don't have a bag of holding of your own, and if you sit there and do the math, really. All that you have would probably fill 2 of them at minimum. So if you're planning on keeping all the gold or keeping all the items or moving things around, you're probably going to want to pick up a second bag of holding just to make your lives easier. But
Just
this,
for money.
yeah, but yeah, like you could literally just get one made for money if you wanted to. But the Desert Bazaar is open to you all in the morning, and it's got a lot of stuff. So you got some. You can always go look if you want to. But it is in the evening time. It's probably around 10 o'clock by this point. You can stay and hang out and enjoy the bar as long as you want. And drinks are pretty much free because everybody's just buying them for you. And occasionally, Ichabod, Lapis, and Blaznir, people do come over to your table and interrupt your group, and everyone has to stop and look up to see who it is. And they like... congratulate you and talk smack on Grovagar and you're getting a lot of ego boost from what's going on in the bar right now. The Fab Five, as I said, are long gone. But what do you want to do?
Well, I know we probably want to get out of town as fast as possible, but unfortunately I do still have some business here that the Zaim pointed me in the direction of. So I'm hoping we can stay perhaps a few more days, just as long as it takes.
Yeah. If you got business, then you should probably tend to it.
I appreciate it.
As long as there's no notion that we are in any danger, then yes.
Well, I hope that we won't be in any danger, but in truth, I can't promise that. I know it's personal business of mine, but y'all have been good friends to me, so I hope I'll have your assistance with.
We are probably in some sort of danger, but
We're always in danger.
Obviously, I know we're always in danger. I just mean, like, there's no notion that we have been discovered.
Yeah, it shouldn't be nothing that's gonna point towards our previous actions.
did anybody see your face?
Nope.
Then we're probably fine.
Yeah, probably. Okay. So, you do have the inn here in Rowina that you all stayed at, and you had paid for a full week, so you actually have about 3 days left of that as well. So, you eventually make your way out of the bar, heading back to your inn. As I said, the room and board's been paid for, no real issues, so you can all make your way in and take a long rest, so go ahead. And nobody fucks with you that night.
Yes, Corin?
Before you go to sleep, there is one thing that I must give you.
Alright. Is it something best given in private?
Probably.
Okay. All right.
Or at least for your purposes.
I don't know what that means. I take Corin to my room.
So I will hand you a wooden box that is long and kind of skinny.
All right. I get a very scared look on my face because all the gifts you've given me in the past, they've been getting increasingly more and more lewd. So
Wow.
That's valid.
Ichabod takes it in his hands.
Okay, you know how they'll like put like velvet in box or something so that it like whatever's in there like sinks in and it looks real nice. That is, and inside is a really like ornate set of cat o' nine tails.
Oh.
I assumed that with your daily usage of your other instrument that it might have gotten a bit worn down, so I figured perhaps you could use an upgrade for your services.
Ichabod's like red in the face because it's very embarrassing. But that's also kind of heartwarming because you've expressed interest in my gods before and stuff. So I think he just looks really embarrassed and then he goes, "Thanks, Corin. Truly, I do appreciate that. I hope you aren't talking to too many people about my business, but I won't ask any more questions."
No, I just happened to have a conversation with someone assisting us, and she had the capability to allow me to acquire such things. I keep your private business private.
I appreciate that, Corin, and this is truly a heartfelt gift.
I'll just give you a small bow and walk away.
I close the door. I don't know how to feel. On the one hand, I'm embarrassed because you called me out on a private matter, but on the other hand, that's kind of nice. Like,
yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure there is quite a lot of conflicting emotions as you make your way to bed. Lapis, all of you, in fact, all of you do have rooms here at the Wyvern's Rest, which was the inn that you took. I actually went and looked it up just so I can remember for sure. I'll remind you a little bit about it. It's on Wingrise. It's in a residential ward of comfortable row houses and a handful of merchant shops. The inn itself is a simple wooden and sandstone shack with a single salvaged stone wall and a dirt floor covered in straw. It's not the biggest inn in the world, but the accommodations are decent, and all of you, if there's nothing else all of you want to do for the evening, you can go ahead and put down you got a long rest.
Ooh, sleep. This is not the greatest
Yeah,
inn in the world. This is just a tribute.
Breakfast the next morning is served. They have boiled eggs and mushrooms, they have pottage, and they have oat and wheat porridge. Most of them cost about either 2 or 4 gold, copper pieces, I'm sorry. The boiled eggs and mushrooms actually cost a silver piece.
Gotta have the eggs. Gotta have the boiled eggs.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure.
So you can all go ahead and put down 1 silver piece for you, Ichabod, and anyone else who wants the boiled eggs. The porridge each cost 4 copper. But apart from that, you all wake up very well rested, spell slots restored, yada yada yada. So, the town of Rowina is open to you. Ichabod, you have a meeting with at a bunkhouse. Yep. Lapis, you have a meeting for a tattoo. Blaznir, you have a meeting to get a cloak.
Oh, I have a meeting.
Yeah, you gotta go get fitted for it.
Matt,
Yes.
if I heard about what they're doing, I am going to mention that I would like to accompany Blaznir.
Okay. Yeah, let's say that you're all sitting around the table right now, eating breakfast. Occasionally people come over and congratulate the gladiators for winning the tournament. It's definitely the talk of the town right now. And the inn, since you're all staying there, lot of the central room of the inn is actually very, very full of people, all clamoring to get sight on the new champions. But as you're all sitting there talking about what you're wanting to do, yeah, Corin, you can absolutely say you want to go with Blaznir.
Hey, champions, roll a con save to see if your hand starts cramping from all the handshakes and autographs.
I'll allow it.
I just remind every person who comes up to me of the glory of Balrus until they leave me alone.
Oh, Lord.
Go ahead and make a religion check for me. Let's see how you do.
Blaznir's con save. He probably has a
Are they
cramping
into
hand.
it?
Okay.
Write autographs. It's
Yeah. Blaznir, like, just everyone bugging you about it is really just kind of getting on your nerves. Your hand's getting a little cramped up and all that. Ichabod, like, you're trying to talk to him about the glories of the Father, but it just comes off creepy and weird with that eight.
That's what I wanted, was for it to come off weird so they would go away.
Yeah, well, perfect. Then it worked. It definitely worked out to your advantage. Like, it's like, you know when the Mormons come and knock on your door and you're just like, oh, thanks. Yeah, no.
Ichabod doesn't give a crap what these people think about him.
Spending too much time around Corin, maybe you accidentally call him the daddy a couple of times instead of the father.
You see, or as Corin would say, your big daddy in the sky, you know. But yeah, I just go on really long-winded theological conversation until everybody goes away.
Well, you know, the line between "Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned" and "I'm sorry, Daddy, I've been a bad girl" is not very thick. I'm just saying.
I feel like that's what Corin is trying to do to me. He's trying to walk me on that line.
Yeah, really
All right.
nice.
Corin, I was actually going to invite you to accompany me on my personal quest. But if you find time for it later, I should hope that you would join me.
Yes, absolutely. I just need to make one short stop.
That's fair enough. I tell Corin where I'll be. The Kazin bunkhouse in the southeast. Meet me there.
Will do.
Yep. Well, so it sounds like you're all going to be splitting up for your morning.
Yeah, it's gone so well every other time, so.
I mean, hey, y'all do what you want to do. It's up to you. But
I'd like to get shivved. It's gonna be great.
Blaznir and Corin, the two of you are heading to get Blaznir's cloak, correct?
Yes.
And Lapis, are you just going straight to get your tattoo?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. You are all told where to go for that. Now, Blaznir's fitting is probably only going to take about 2 hours or so. They're basically just getting your measurements. The cloth has been prepared ahead of time for your arrival, so that's not going to take too long. Lapis, you on the other hand, it's basically going to take you pretty much all day. You're going to be at this till probably around maybe 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because it's a pretty big tattoo that you're getting on you, and you don't have a lot of places to do it considering you're a turtle. So it's not like they can tattoo on your shell. So
Why not? The shell is living too.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't work that way.
It's not skin.
Yeah, it's not skin. It's chitin.
It'll break the tattoo needle, maybe.
Probably, or it may break your actual shell.
Ooh.
Like, can you imagine trying to do a tattoo on a turtle shell?
I mean, to be fair, in the description of it just says you just hold the needle to the skin. It doesn't say
that is how 5th edition did it. However, in my world, it's an actual tattoo that you actually
I'd be less
get.
worried about where they're going to put it and more worried about how much it's going to cost you.
Well, and that's the other thing. It is going to cost you 10,000 gold for this.
Okay, but
Corin does have money for you. So, yeah.
Yeah, so that I'm paying for it out of that.
Yeah, I know you are. What was the number I gave you guys for the final tally?
22 something.
22,000. Oh, let me subtract my normal amount. Because I wrote them in 2 different things. I had 483, now I have 22,965. Calc.
This is what I
So
have
that's-
written down.
22,482.
Yeah,
82.
it was 80. It was a round number.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I probably spent some gold in the meantime.
So I'm not actually gonna stay for Blaznir's fitting.
Okay.
Yes.
I just wanted to go there to ask the purveyor a question. Since he's getting a magical cloak made, I assume he could probably help me.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and start off with that then. The two of you arrive at the cloakmaker, and you're ushered in. He gives you that big desert greeting. Welcome, welcome, my friend. Please come in, come in. And this is a human man, very dark, tan skin. You can tell he's lived in the desert his entire life. Dark hair, big, long, dark mustache. Wearing fairly typical, but very obviously fine quality desert clothes, like silks and things like that. This is obviously a very well-to-do merchant, and you knew that from the fact that he was sitting in the Zaim's vault with them. So he's an influential patron. But he ushers you both in, and as he's begins to take measurements of Blaznir, he actually makes him stand up on a little platform. He gets out his or at least not him himself, because he's just the vendor, but his workers go and measuring tape, start measuring Blaznir. What question are you wanting to ask for?
Yes, I see that you are a purveyor of fine cloth goods, particularly cloaks and things. I was looking for some information on where I could obtain something particularly rare.
What I can help you if I will help you if I can. What are you looking for in particular?
I've heard tell of a cloak that obscures one's true position from attackers.
Okay, so let's not be vague. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for a cloak of displacement. Requires attunement. When you wear it, attack rolls have disadvantage against you. If you take damage, then it goes away until the start of your next turn.
Okay. Holy shit, this thing is hella expensive.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
So, just pulled it up on my price thinger. Just base price, not even Rowina price. He tells you, oh yes, my friend, this is, that kind of enchantment can be done, while I do not have anything like that of my own. It is acquirable, however, it is extremely, extremely expensive, and base price is 120,000 gold pieces.
Jesus Christ, okay.
Yeah, that's not even like, and normally when I do the price check on the magical item thing, I for Rowina, I increase it because it's Rowina, but just base price, I'm like, holy shit.
Understood. Well, thank you for the information, and that will give me something to think about.
I will, I do have a bit of information, though, if that would be something that you would be interested in purchasing instead.
Sure. What do you have for sale?
Well, basically for 100 gold coins, he'll tell you about where he knows of them.
Sure. I will pay him 100 gold for that.
He takes the 100 gold and he says, about 3 years ago, I made a cloak of displacement for a very well-known individual. She lives in Rani Vika, and she is one of the high priestesses of the Temple of the Five there. perhaps you could convince her to sell hers instead.
Can you spell Ranivica for me?
Ranivica.
Excellent. Does she have a name that I can...
Her name is High Priestess Elin. Elin.
Excellent.
And she's
Well-
she's currently the Reverend Mother of the Temple of the Five in Rhim.
Thank you. I shall be off. Enjoy your new cloak, Blaznir.
I will try.
The man bows, and as you're heading out, and he pockets the gold. And then he turns back to Blaznir, and he kind of gives you one of those finger to the nose, keep quiet on this kind of thing. And then he
Keep quiet about what?
exactly. And then his workers continue to work on your cloak. It doesn't take long. Like I said, the enchantment has already been placed. They just needed to get your fittings. So at the end of a couple hours, you have a cloak of the Montebain.
Could I get it like just a tiny bit smaller so it also fit me like in a wolf form? Can I activate magic items in wolf form? Actually.
That's a good question. Why don't you go Google that?
Okay.
Google has all the answers.
Druids activate.
But not do it on mic.
What?
No, mumble every second of it.
No, I'll just mute you. Anywho, Lapis, you headed to the tattooist. I already told you your amount that it's going to cost you, and so you're going to be spending the next. Let's see, it's what 9 o'clock now. So the next 6 hours being tattooed. So that's your day for the most part.
I mean, I'll be meditating for most of it, so.
Yeah. That's a good way to get through the pain of a tattoo, is to just meditate and chill. I dig it.
So it says you can choose whether your equipment falls to the ground, merges, or is worn by it.
Yeah.
Worn equipment functions as normal, but the DM decides whether it is practical for the new form to wear a piece of equipment based on the creature's shape and size.
So I'd say that, yeah, in wolf form, I'd allow you to keep your cloak wrapped around you, because it's a cloak, and, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
So yes, I
As
would say
long
you could do that.
As long as he doesn't have to do anything that requires, like, moving it with his hands, he should be fine.
Yeah, because I mean, I imagine that when you're using a cloak naturally and you're just using the magic, it's more of a innate choice to do this. You still have to cast the spell, but what is this? Is it Dimension Door?
Yeah.
Dimension Door. It is a spell.
So that's the thing. Let's look at the components.
Says you can't
It's just
cast
verbal.
spells in wild shape, so... But that's an item, so it might
Yeah.
be different.
Yeah, I'm going to say that technically the components are verbal. You're in wolf form, but if you keep the command word simple, I'll allow it. Why
If
not?
you make the command word be bark or awu.
Yeah, that's it. You have to make, that's what it's going to be. You have to make the command word be awu, and you have to say that in human form every time you use it. That's how I'm going to rule it.
You have to go awu. And then tell
Yep, that's how it's going to work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Canon. It's canon now.
Sure.
Oh,
Fair enough.
Okay, but you got the cloak of Montebain. Now, Blaznir. Corin, after you leave, what are you trying to do?
go find Ichabod, as I said I would.
Okay. So so that's good then, because it won't take you too long to ask those questions, and you could probably catch up to Ichabod as he's making his way out. So Ichabod, you were told to go to the Kazin bunkhouse in the southeastern district of Rowina to meet with a Tabaxi named Tenenbaum Griff. It doesn't. It's not too terribly difficult to find here in Rowina, and eventually you make your way to the southeastern district. You probably do so about 11 o'clock or so in the afternoon. Corin catches up to you as you're about maybe halfway or so there. Let's see here. Blood from a Stone said, like to see Corin explain to his paladin friend that they need to go and rob a high priestess of the Five.
Who said anything about robbing?
Might buy it from her, but also is she a priestess of Crandage? Might make an exception for that one.
So
Well, it says Reverend Mother, which makes me think maybe she's of Ilmentris, the mother. But we'll see.
Well,
it's all speculation.
So my question is, are the two of you talking about that as you're making your way to the bunkhouse?
Yeah, I'll mention. So I spoke with the gentleman doing Blaznir's magical cape.
That so?
And he gave me some information on someone that I need to go speak to, and I figure you might be uniquely suited to assist me in this manner.
Alright, I'll hear you out.
It is a High Priestess Ellen of the Five.
I see.
Located in Ranivica.
Alright,
Brandie
Ranivica. I want to reference the map. Where on the map would it be? Or can I do the big Loroupa one, I guess?
It's
too big. Everything's too small.
Nope, here we go. There's the Federation map.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay, so it's in the Federation.
Yep, it's in the Federation. It's actually kind of northeast of where you are. It's not far from the edge of the Federation and the Dauran Empire border.
Well, it doesn't seem unreasonable that we might be able to make a quick stop there. Can I make a religion check to see if I can identify based on her title? Like what?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and make a religion check.
Here goes. Oh, it's a nat 20 for a 24.
Wow. So
have I heard of her specifically?
So you have not heard of her specifically, even with a nat 20, because while yes,
I lived in Golfern all my life.
Exactly, you lived in Golfern all your life. This is the first time you're traveling out of that, so you don't know everything. But with a nat 20, this is what you do know. The temple in Ranivica is a temple to Crandage, straight up. You made the joke, but you were 100% right. You also know that the high priestess that you had heard of, Ivik Abir, who's the overall, basically the pope of the Church of the Five, she actually came from Ranivica, that was her home temple before she became the overall high priestess of the Church of the Five here on Loroupa. She went to Ravancia in North America, or in the Kingdom of Hyrulean, and presides over there. But she has always taken a keen interest in the temple to Crandage there in Ranivica. She actually built a new what's the word I'm looking for? A convent. That's the word.
Convent.
She recently built a convent there, which is why you happen to know about it, because you heard on your travels of a new convent being opened somewhere, and like you're just kind of putting two and two together now.
All right. Has Ivek Abir ever gone to Golfrin? Like, is she human?
She is human, and she does travel throughout the entire continent, going to the different temples. So while you personally have never met her, you do know that she has been to Golfrin once or twice.
Yeah, maybe I've heard a speech or something, or heard tell a bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'll share all this with Corin.
Would Ichabod know if a temple like that would be big enough to have a circle inside?
I mean, it sounds like if it's supported by the leader of our organized religion, that perhaps it's probably come into some funds as of late, or at least since she took her rule.
Right.
I
Well,
don't think it's unreasonable to assume.
if it has a circle and I can get a message to someone there asking to use it, then we could simply teleport there.
Yeah, we might not have to go out of our way. We
Correct.
could posit that to Lapis and see if perhaps we could get into the gosh, I'm forgetting the word.
The conclave?
Yeah, the conclave. I wanted to say convent because you said that.
Yeah.
The conclave, and see if perhaps they've got any info about it.
Well, the Erudite Conclave is the resident lore masters, so they could. You never know.
Yeah, something to look into, definitely. And I will state my position, of course, is that Crandage is no god that I serve.
Who is he?
Crandage is the daughter of Bowers and Elmentris, the wayward daughter, I should say. Mother of chaos, god of thieves and the like. I'm sure they love her here in Rowina.
There is a temple to the five dedicated to Crandage here in Rowina.
Yeah. Well, I ain't been much for going to church here.
Well, I might be able to ask them then.
Yeah.
Anyways, what are we doing on this particular sojourn?
I'm not sure how much I exactly shared with you. You know, I'm a married man, and I've had some issues with my family these past years. But my wife, she left and took the boys, and I guess it was quite hard on my eldest son, Ishmael. So he is turned off the straight and narrow, I should say. So my goal here is hopefully to talk some sense into the boy and get him out of whatever kind of trouble he's gotten himself into, and hopefully in the end I can take my whole family back with us to Coltras.
He's a 20th level monk who just backhands you.
I don't know. I mean, I love my son. I'm quite worried about him.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, your walks continue on as you make your way to that southeastern district. You were given directions, so go ahead and give me just a persuasion with advantage, just asking around to find this specific building. The DC is not high because you do have directions for this.
Yeah, my persuasion is a +4. I assume that's...
So is mine.
Yeah. Okay, I will roll. 17.
Yeah, it's not hard. There's tons of people out on the streets. It's a busy, bustling day, and you, specifically Ichabod, have a little bit of fame here in Rowina. So finding the bunkhouse is not difficult, and you do eventually make your way to a 3-story tall building. It does stand out a little bit because there's not a lot of 3-story buildings in this area, but this one it definitely does. It's a sandstone building, painted with plaster, decorated with a strange mural of some children of different races, dwarf, tiefling, tabaxi, human, all kind of playing together, like doing a ring around the rosy.
Diversity mural.
Yeah, basically a diversity mural. Well, because every building here in Rowina is decorated in some way, and this way is just it's more it's showing kids playing around a palm tree, and it's supposed to depict the fact that this is a very nice bunkhouse. But as you get closer, like the plaster is peeling, the color is faded. You can see chips in various places. And
so, for clarification, is the bunkhouse like a orphanage? Is this like a place where kids are staying, or
so
is it
it's
just like an inn, like a hostel?
It's more like a hostel.
Okay.
A bunkhouse is a place. It's like cheap rooms, so it's much like an inn, just a lot cheaper and more crammed together.
So before we go,
she have to make a wisdom save to avoid drawing an evil mustache on the tiefling?
Alright, I ain't one for these types of childish shenanigans, but if you want to draw one, I would not stop you.
You're the one who thinks that they're from the devil.
Well, I mean, it's the horns that kind of give it away, don't you think? All right. Before we go in, I will tell Corin the descriptions of the kids to look out for. These kids know about my son, so all the names that I put in earlier, like the Greyford Tabaxi, redhead human girl, gray-skinned tiefling, and then a dwarf.
I'm gonna be keeping a hand on my stuff, because I figure if he's fallen in with a bad lot, that pickpockets certainly could be around.
Oh yeah, definitely keeping an eye out.
That's fair.
Keep your eye out for these tieflings, alright? I know you think it's unwarranted, but they've been a problem for me, alright?
Satyrs have horns too, you know?
Yeah, satyrs aren't red of skin. Little devil
Not all
tails.
tieflings are red of skin either.
Alright.
Not all tieflings.
We can discuss it later. Why don't we ask the Conclave, actually, for a history on tieflings and tell me they don't have devilish origins, so... I ain't just making shit up.
Tiefling
But we'll talk
lives
about
matter.
this later. We'll talk about this later.
Well, this building actually does have a door. A lot of buildings in Rowina don't. They just have curtains, but this one does. So you go up and just push the door open and step inside to see a little man, human, tan skin as pretty much everybody in Rowina does, bright white beard, and one of those crowns around a bald head, pure white hair. He looks up kind of startled as you just barge in, Ichabod.
Yeah, I always throw doors.
Yeah, you always throw doors. It's canon at this point. We all know you do it. And you go stomping your way up to him, and he just kind of looks at you. And he looks you up and down, Ichabod, and like, you're a freaking plate-armored, tons of weapons, big shield, and then
I'm a dangerous man.
And then your your priest stuff, your hat, your cloak, all that. So you're a intimidating figure, and you can definitely see this man as you're approaching and kind of stomp down up to his little desk that he's sitting at. He kind of shies back a little bit, but then he looks at you, and a big grin breaks out across his face. You can see like broken, jagged, rotting teeth in there, and he just kind of cackles a little bit. And as he sees you, and he says, "Oh, so you're the one who won the tournament last night? I heard
something about that funny to you."
Oh, I heard all about you and that ex-wife of yours," and he just cackles really loud.
I didn't sign no papers.
Yes, well.
Drop that X.
What's that?
I said drop that X.
Drop that X. He just kind of chuckles and he says, "Oh, I've been expecting you. We have no use for holy men and their condescending ways here, but I was told to introduce you to Tenenbaum. So I suppose that's what I have to do."
Yeah, why don't you go on and fetch him, and just so you know, I ain't no normal holy man.
From what I heard of your fight, I don't doubt that. Tenenbaum! And he just yells really loud.
This guy's a cocksucker.
Man, don't judge his life. You don't know him.
I mean, no disrespect if you are, but...
A couple minutes later, the door behind you opens up, and you see a tabaxi step out wearing a long, dark robe that's kind of pulled up over his head, but has holes cut out for his ears. And, like...
That's cute.
The first thing you notice is that this tabaxi is one of those naked cat types. He has no fur. It's just wrinkled skin, very long snout, and one of his eyes is actually replaced with a slightly glowing blue crystal.
Sphinx cat, they're called.
Yes, Sphinx cat, they're called.
All right, and he's got a blue crystal in his eye?
He does.
That's not reminiscent of any certain gems like the one in my hand?
Well, you can definitely tell the similarities just by
But
looking
not-
at it.
it's
It's
definitely
not.
the same
It's
thing. Okay.
definitely not a dream seed. Like
Okay.
you're the thing in your hand would be pulsing if it was, and it's
Alright.
not. But there is some similarities there, and like when you see that, it evokes an image of that gigantic Luxodon you had fought, because at one point he had that crystal in his eye.
Yeah.
Poor Shadowfire.
Poor shit.
Tenenbaum, I presume. My name is Ichabod Sykes, servant of the Father, and this is my associate, Corin.
Hello.
The Tabaxi kind of bows to each of you, and he says, "I have been expecting you. I was expecting you earlier, but that's okay. I had nothing better to do today. I have acquired the individual you are seeking, and he is ready to meet with you. Right this way."
Any time. Let's not waste any time. I'm ready.
He shrugs and opens the door once again, and you can see from behind the door, it's just a simple room, one long table with a bookshelf behind, and sitting in that table at the back is a very surly-looking young man, seated in a chair. His head is down. He has a cloak on his back that's pulled up over his head, trying to hide some of those features. But it's not difficult to recognize the shape of your son, Ishmael.
I push past Tenenbaum and walk in the room as quickly as possible.
You just shove past the
Oh, yeah.
the cat just kind of growls a little bit in annoyance. And he looks.
Sure the cat doesn't fall.
You kind of catch the cat as he stumbles, and he looks at you and he's like, "Your friend always this pushy?"
Only when it comes to his family.
Well,
Ishmael. I rush in over to him.
Without
Then-
looking up at you, he says in a very stubborn and downcast voice, "Yes, sir."
I mean, it's me. I've come to get you. I mean, I've heard you're in a world of trouble. I'm looking at him very earnestly. My eldest son is everything to me. So that's my bond, is my eldest son is everything to me. I'd do damn near anything to repair our relationship and earn his affection. So I'm I forgot that I was mad at him once I saw him.
And from your perspective, absolutely. He his body language is that of someone who's been caught with his hand in the cookie jar, for want of a better phrase. His shoulders are slumped, his head's down. He's got that cloak partially obscuring his face, as though he's expecting a scolding at any minute.
All right, I pull out the chair and sit down next to him, and I go, "Ishmael, take that hood off."
I'm a hug.
No, I gotta scold him first.
You see the Tabaxi walking.
Get in here, Corin.
And as he does, as you sit down, you see the Tabaxi sitting down opposite from you, and he looks directly at Ishmael, and you see him do a subtle nod. You also see Ishmael's hand flash a little bit, and the Tabaxi flash back. Just a little motion and a couple taps on the table, and finally you hear a deep sigh, and then he reaches up back and pulls back his hood. And the face that you see is absolutely your son, Ishmael. He's older than the last time you saw him, obviously. It's been a handful of years. He's a lad of 16 at this point, and his dark hair is very long and pulled back into a ponytail at the nape of his neck. He has a little bit of scruff on his upper lip and the tip of his chin in that, adolescent kind of way. But he looks skinny, but he looks solid, as though, as he's pushing back the cloak hood, you can see his arms are pretty wiry and lean, as though he's got some pretty quick hands. And
Believe in getting enough to eat.
Nothing makes me more proud than to see my boy who's turned into a man, and he's kind of tough too.
yeah, I imagine that you just have this fatherly pride.
But I try not to
your
show
face.
it because he is being very deferential, which I didn't expect. So I'm like, good. He's still a good boy at heart.
Yeah.
I look stern.
Finally, Ishmael kind of he still hasn't looked you directly in the eye yet. His face has definitely been more focused on the table in front of him, like any kid who's in trouble would be. And he says, Mr. Griff here told me that you won the gladiator tournament, and that your request was for me to be freed. Is that right, Father?
Well,
Actually, I'm not even doing his accent. He's a Southern.
Yeah, you gotta be Southern.
Is that right, Father?
Well, that's part of the truth, but it ain't the whole truth, because while you're here doing whatever it is that you're doing, your mother is also enslaved, I should say, by the Zaim, so I also requested for her freedom. I've come here to take the lot of you back somewhere safe.
Like, you just see his mouth purse, like, as though, like, he just scowls, and, like, his face is very hard to read, but go ahead and give me an insight check.
Yeah. Something about that you don't like, I presume?
If I see him scowling, I will lean over and I will say, do allow me to translate. I love you, boy. I've missed you. How have you been? I'm here to attempt to see if I can take care of you and your mother.
That ain't what I'm here for, Ishmael. Because while you've been here acting a fool, and your mother's been God knows where working for the Zaim, your little brother Fear Not's been alone at home. You're supposed to be a role model to him. Is this what you want your little brother doing?
The boy looks at you sharply at this point, and he scowls once again. He says, "What do you care? You left too. All I wanted to do is get away and be able to be my own man. I did the same things you did."
You know damn well that's different. You know damn well it's different. I have an oath.
The Tabaxi raises a hand up and he says, "I believe, Mr. Sykes, that you are under some false impressions."
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and clear those up for me?
Oh.
I suppose it's my duty to do so, as requested by my master. Your wife is not indentured to the Zaim. That is a fabrication created by myself and a few others in my employ, done so on behalf of young Sykes here.
Is she married to the Zaim now or something?
To that before, and she laughed at me, remember?
And the Tabaxi laughs at that too. The Zaim has a full harem. Why would he want some simple woman from the backcountry?
Yeah, you watch your fucking mouth, alright?
You stand up, and the moment you do, like, you see both Ichabod, or Ishmael, and the Tabaxi move their hands down to their hips.
Yeah, I dare you. I look at Ishmael.
And, like, Ishmael, he has a pair of daggers on his waist. You're now able to see, and he is clutching one of them. And he looks at you and he says, "Mother followed me here. She followed me here even after I told her that I was leaving. And I had to do something. I had to set up something for some livelihood for her. She was convinced that I was indentured to the guild because I told her I was. It was the only way she would leave me alone so I could do my own thing. And when she showed up here in Rowina, I needed to say something. So I told her I told her that I was indebted to the guild, and that I was forced to be here. And so she came and she talked to Tenenbaum here, and Tenenbaum was just going to tell her to fuck off and leave. But you know, I'm still not doing his southern. I need to remember the southern accent. And so instead, we made a deal, Father. We made a deal that Mr. Tenenbaum here would provide her some employment, and I could continue to work and do my things for the guild, so I could make money for the family. And that's what we set up. We told Mother that she would be indentured to the Zaim on my behalf, so she would leave me alone, so I could continue my work.
So you're okay with that? You're okay with telling that kind of a lie to your mother, making her think she's a slave?
It was the best idea in a bad situation, Father. Well, it's nothing different than you did.
I hope that you understand that you wanting to be here is so much worse than the lie that you told. My boy, you are dying of thirst, and you can't even see it. I want to look at the tabaxi across the table and say, if you don't mind, I would like to have a moment alone with my son. I see y'all.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
I want to make an intimidation check.
Oh, you want to make an intimidation check?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
Fuck this guy. That's a 20, but just in case that ain't gonna work, I'm gonna expend a superiority die to also roll a d8 and add that. So 22.
Okay, let me see.
This wayward boy.
Yeah, sorry, my roll 20 is lagging for me. Just give me 1 second.
I look at Corin. Like, help me.
You dug your own grave on this one.
Alright. It's different, I swear, it's different. I went to war. I didn't go stealing.
Did you choose to go to war?
Mayhaps.
Okay. While the tabaxi doesn't look like scared of you, he does seem taken aback, and he glances over at Ishmael, and he raises an eyebrow, and Ishmael just kind of sighs a little bit. But with that 22, yeah, I'm gonna say that he definitely nods his head. The tabaxi gets up and walks over to Corin, and he says, "Let's give these two a moment of privacy." And the two of them step out of the room, but when they do... Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Corin?
I must mention one thing to you.
Yeah.
Despite my feelings, however they may be, if he does not wish to leave, I shall not allow you to take this boy from here by force.
Duly noted, Corin.
And then I'll walk out the room.
Okay. And you walk out the room back into that main waiting room, and the tabaxi follows, but as he does, he doesn't close the door all the way. He leaves it open for it.
Basically, just like if he had been tricked, or like they had lied to get him in here,
He's
or he was
16.
forced to work here, you know, that'd be one thing.
Alright. When they leave the room, I turn back to Ishmael, and I go, Ishmael, you don't have to do this anymore, alright? Money's not a problem. I'm back, and I ain't leaving again. I just want to get your family, well, your mother and your brother, and you, I'm hoping, somewhere safe. I've got connections in Coltras. You can get a house there. You don't have to damn your soul for this.
He just laughs at that, like a bitter laugh,
Mhm.
and he says, "My soul."
Yeah, your soul.
Father, you and that nonsense you constantly have spouted all my life, doesn't matter here. Here,
Yeah,
your
what matters
skill.
here is slavery.
What matters here is skill and ability. And I have that. And he flashes and he does a little sleight of hand
Yeah.
really quick.
I can see that. I know you got potential in you. I know you've got skills. That doesn't mean you have to use them to put down normal, hardworking people. Only small people target weak people. So
Normal,
I thought you were a
hardworking
strong
people.
guy.
No one's... You live your life by some very jaded eyes, Father. You think all these people here, they're just weak, pathetic things that someone has to protect? No. Everyone here has made their choice and are here for the same reasons they want to be. They want to live their life free from the tyrannical rule that religion shoves down everyone's face. Here, we're free.
You want to live under the tyrannical rule of the Zaim?
The Zaim.
God.
The Zaim lets people do whatever they want to do.
Yeah, cutting old ladies' purses. I'm sure that's real fun for you.
He's kind of sits up straight and he says, "I'm one of the best there is here. And I'm proud of that."
Something to be proud of.
Yeah, it is something to be proud of.
Well, you're a man now. I suppose you make your own choices. But I'm taking your mother and your little brother with me. And there ain't nothing you can say about that.
He kind of laughs at that again. And he says, "What makes you think Mother's gonna come with you?"
I stand up and I put my hat on. And I say, Ishmael, you think you're real tough. Alright? You think you're real tough. But you wouldn't want to be caught against me, alright?
He kind of...
And I don't want to be caught against you because I do love you. You are my son. And I hope you will start to see the right.
Go ahead and make another check. What do you want? You wanting this to be another intimidation?
No, I want my son to like me. He's the only one. I'll intimidate my wife. I'll intimidate everyone else. But he's genuinely the only one who I actually care about.
Then maybe.
That I want him to like me.
Then it would be a persuasion check.
I don't have high hopes for this. It's a 10.
10's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
He says...
I look a little sad, actually, because usually he's probably used to me being very stern and I would just yell at him. But I'm genuinely
oh yeah,
sad.
and that's what he's expecting. Like he's expecting that, and especially when you start threatening him, like you don't want to face me, boy. And but then he just kind of
prepared for that.
He just kind of laughs a little bit again. And he said, "What makes you think I'm talking about me? You've been gone for a long time, Father. Mother's made a life here for herself.
A life built on lies."
Maybe I did have to lie to her once she was here, but she chose to come here, Father. She chose to follow me, and she chose to leave you." And then at that point, he actually points his finger at you when he says that.
The audacity, the rudeness. Ishmael, I can tell you hate me so much. So explain to me why you have chosen to make every mistake that I have made. And then I reach into my pocket and I pull out that little dragon scale that's got the emblem of the father on it that Corin made for me.
Sure.
And I go, "I've been wanting to give this to you for a long time, just so you'd have something to remember me by. So if you want me gone, then I'm gone. But I hope you'll take this." And I set it on the table and I put my hat on and I walk out.
And as you're walking out, you get to the door and you push open the door to see Corin kind of standing there in the middle of the room while the tabaxi is in the corner, kind of listening in. During the whole conversation, Corin, he's just been leaning there against the wall, his hand just kind of tapping the side where a crossbow is there. And you see him standing there, Ichabod, but as you're walking away, you also hear, "Yeah, once again, just walking away like always. That's why Mother left you.
I'm just gonna keep leaving. I can't take it. I leave.
Okay.
Corin, we're out of here.
I'll walk out with you.
Okay, you push past the tabaxi and walk out of the bunkhouse, and as you do, the tabaxi's like watching, because he was expecting a completely different thing to happen here. That's for
He was
sure.
expecting a fight or something.
Actually, no, not exactly, but like, do you leave with Ichabod, Corin? Because
Yeah.
Ichabod just stomped out.
I'm gonna walk back into the room where Ishmael is before I leave, and I'll say, he does try to love you in his own way, you know, and then just walk out.
Ishmael, you hear him replying, "I'm sure he does. That doesn't make it right."
No, it doesn't. And I just walk out.
Okay.
Oh.
As you walk out, you see Tenenbaum walking back into that room. But you make your way out of the bunkhouse, Corin.
I stop outside the bunkhouse and I look at Corin and I go, I don't know what else to do here. It's like he's gone from me. It's like he's just a totally different person.
Have you tried telling him that you're proud of him?
What is there to be proud of? My son's a thief. My son, and he's proud of it. He likes it.
Think of it like this. Would you not be proud of him if he were, say, perhaps, working for the church, stealing simply from the guilty instead of whoever may come?
I roll my eyes.
Because the same
What?
skills are used for both practices. The only difference is the lens placed upon them. And
Yeah,
the
but
skills
I
are
tried to raise
still
them to
regardless.
protect innocent people, not to victimize them. I don't know.
Who says the people he victimizes are innocent?
Well, he sure didn't refute that fact.
Many have blood on their hands for many reasons.
Well, I don't know.
Can you claim that every battle that you have fought, or that we have fought, has been righteous? I dare not attempt to say such things, lest I be wrong. And
Yeah,
proven
Ichabod
wrong.
just looks at the ground, because truly I cannot. Well, then what do you suggest, Corin?
I claim no allegiance to any particular religion as of yet, but I am smart enough to know that there is a simple truth that I try to abide by. If you think that you are the smartest person in the room, you are probably wrong.
Trust qualms about my own intelligence. What gets me about it is that I'm stupid enough to make these choices. He is not. Thanks to his mother's genes, he should know different. But seems like I gave him all the worst parts of me.
He's got a 12
Well,
intelligence. I
You
mean,
must understand that in the short term, sure, or with great amounts of study, someone might know what they are talking about, but when it comes to long-term planning and the like, no one on this planet has any idea of what they're actually doing. We're all just doing the best we can.
I feel like you're dancing around some theological concepts here, which I would normally be happy to engage you in, but right now I'm just too sad. And I start walking home. I do want to try again, but I want to give him like time and maybe catch him in a different scenario, because I don't like whatever this is with Griff, that they're talking to each other and stuff, which is why I sent him out of the room.
mhm.
You can.
So my real hope is that he takes the scale and I can track him using that. Scheme.
Interesting.
Scheme.
Interesting. Well, you never did see him pick it up, but he was definitely
Yeah.
looking at it, staring at it. He was actually staring at it when you walked out.
So what you're saying is you're pulling a con on your son.
Well, it's like, yeah, I've
Like a
thought
rogue
long and
would do.
hard about a good a good gift to give
like
him.
someone in the Thieves Guild would do.
Yeah, we're the same person. That's what I'm hoping I left in his brain, is that he is the same. So if he hates me so much, he should hate himself.
Wow, that's some gaslighting shit.
Well, he said all I did is what you did. He
That's
said
true.
he was
That's
doing
true.
exactly what I did, but he criticized me for what I did. So hopefully I'll see that I'm wrong, and he'll see that he's wrong.
Yeah. No, I dig it. I love it.
And then we'll grow in our father-son relation, because I need my son to approve of me. Please come back. Yeah, I go home and I cry.
Yeah, well, you both start walking off. It is the middle of the afternoon still here in Rowina. It's probably around noon. Lots to do still, but this is also a perfect time to take a break.
Yeah.
So why don't we go ahead and do that? We'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks, and when we get back, we'll find out what Ichabod and Corin are going to do from here. So
Or,
stay tuned.
You know, what Blaznir wants to do.
Yeah, well, Blaznir will probably be able to meet back up with you. And we'll start
Yeah,
actually
let's
start
get
out.
everyone involved in my
There's some
family
little
drama.
bit of shopping I want to do before I get back.
Well, like I said, Lapis is taking most of the day to do this, so she's still got a few more hours before she's
Yeah,
done.
there.
But we'll start with Blaznir and see what he wants to do, and then we'll get back after that. But we'll be back in about 10 minutes, folks, so stay tuned.
Bye-bye.
And we're back, everybody. So when we last left off, Ichabod and Corin confronted Ichabod's son Ishmael at the bunkhouse and got a little information that he wasn't too thrilled about. It seems like Ishmael has been lying and manipulating his mother for a few years, and he convinced her that he was indentured to the guild to stop her from trying to make him quit. And now here in Rowina, he set up the job at the soup kitchen, all to allow him to continue doing what he said he loved to do. So there is that. But other than that, Blaznir,
Yes.
you had gotten your cloak fitted to you and made, and it's very lovely and really kind of cool. And you're now sporting that as you make your way out from the shop. So you said you had a few things you wanted to do in town. What were you wanting to do?
All right, so I want to find two different types of shop. First, I want to find just something that would sell perfume to cover up this brimstone smell coming off the cloak.
Okay. Okay. And what else?
And I want to find some sort of mask shop, like yeah.
A
Blaznir
mask.
needs some Axe body spray.
Okay.
A mask, like something that looks a bit devilish.
Okay. Well, you can certainly head to the bazaar and start looking around. The bazaar has damn near everything that comes out of the Margarden Federation, being sold by purveyors who we've all discovered love to bargain and tend to jack up the prices extremely high to see how good of a deal they can get for themselves. So it's kind of expected that kind of thing happens. You can start heading out and just walking the bazaar and looking for specifically either a perfume seller or somebody who sells masks. Go ahead and make an investigation check for him, and then a perception check.
Investigation and perception. Oh, investigation's not good.
You're getting robbed.
I'm gonna give myself guidance for investigation. Just cause that's... Oh, actually that's pretty fine, but... what is guidance again? D4.
You
D4.
can choose when to use it, so if you
Yeah,
don't
you
want
can.
to,
I don't need it for perception. 19.
I'm gonna roll in
Probably.
that one.
Uh,
Oh damn. I was just hoping karma would come around and get you.
Right, me
It'd
too.
still be a 14, but 19 on
Want somebody to
investigation.
get robbed like you
Hey
did.
man, that one's
28.
always a fail.
Yeah.
28
Well,
on perception.
Not
Let's
until
go
the
check.
new rules come out.
That's how I'm always gonna play it like that. If you nat 1, you
Yeah.
fail. Otherwise,
Yeah.
why are we rolling dice?
Yeah, I have to agree with that one. Nat 1 is always a fail no matter what. Nat 20 is not always a success, just situational.
It's the
And-
best possible outcome. Nat
Yeah,
20.
it's the best possible outcome, but sometimes even your best work isn't good enough.
Yeah.
You ask the king for his kingdom, and a nat 20 means he thinks you're joking and doesn't immediately have you
And it
executed.
goes, this one's funny.
Exactly.
Come eat dinner with me.
Exactly. But that's our commentary on one D&D, which I also love the fact that they're just ripping off Xbox One. But hey, whatever.
If
Anyway,
it works, don't fix it.
I guess.
I'm kidding.
We might move to Pathfinder at that point.
We should have an after show where we just talk shit about random stuff.
We really
They're
should.
going in a new direction, 360 degrees from where
Oh,
they
no.
were.
No.
But anyway, Blaznir, you begin looking around, looking for these places, and the first place you do find is a market stall selling little bottles of perfume and different types of scents. You also notice that as you're walking around, you do see the typical thieves kind of moving around, looking for people to rob. But you being a very, very perceptive individual and keeping that watch out because you've had some experience, you're spotting them before they spot you. And so once they realize that you're watching them, they're obviously not going to approach. But at the scent stall, it's a lovely young woman with her crone of a mother behind her, and she says, hello there, big tall sir. What can I get you? I have lots of different scents here. Do you want some perfume for your girlfriend?
Well, I was hoping for something to just slightly cover up this. As you can smell, I can't smell brimstone right now, and that's not very pleasant for anyone. So I was hoping for something to maybe cover it up a bit.
She kind of sniffs you a little bit, and she kind of jumps back. Oh my goodness, you smell like you've been in Avernus.
Yeah, no, it's this new cape I've got. It's strange. I think it's cursed. Anyway, yeah, I just want something to cover up the smell, if you have that.
She kind of shies away from you a little bit because you said it was cursed. She says, well, I would recommend our strongest perfume because that's a pretty heavy odor. I do have this bottle right here, and she picks up what's obviously the largest and most expensive bottle there, and she kind of gives a little flick of it, send a little bit of the mist at you, and you can smell, and it's kind of. It's got a nice, pleasant floral aroma, but it's not that powerful, and you're not sure whether or not it'll cover up the brimstone completely.
Can I make a general insight to try to see, I don't know, what am I looking for?
Nature check, maybe? See which one most potent? I don't know.
So
Yeah.
tell me what you're trying to ascertain, and I'll tell you what to roll.
I wanna find out which would be the best perfume to cover up the smell, rather than just the most expensive.
Okay. Yeah, so you just kind of want to start going through the bottles, sniffing them, trying to judge whether or not they would cover up the smoke that's about you, or the smell about you. I get you. Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make an insight check.
Insight. Okay.
I, for
22.
one, think brimstone is a fine smell.
You do?
Yep, fire and brimstone.
You are so against tieflings. It's like a fiendish smell.
No,
Well,
it has religious implications.
it does. It does.
Okay.
Fire and brimstone is usually associated with
strike.
wrath and things like that.
Burning in hell.
Yeah, like burning
it's
in
the
hell.
fire and brimstone style of religion, which is the religion that I follow.
It's true. It's true.
Fair.
But
Right,
so yeah, with
smell
your
it.
22 insight, Blaznir, you pick up each one and you kind of sniff them, and the most potent one is actually a very spicy smelling. It has notes of cinnamon and clove, and it's pretty damn pungent. That one would probably have the best bet for you, because it is the strongest odor.
Sure, I'm gonna give this a like. Ooh, I do like that that nice bottle you procured, but I think this one, honestly, it kind of goes with my personality a bit better. So I think I'm gonna take 2 bottles of this.
2 bottles of this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm on the road. It's gonna,
Mama, can you get me another one of those? And the old lady moves around and kind of rummages through a few boxes in the back, and comes walking up, and she says, "Okay then. Yes, you want 2 bottles of one of our most popular brands. Yes, absolutely. This will cost 100 gold pieces apiece."
100 gold pieces. I will say I'm a bit short on the money. Maybe 75 would be a bit more to our liking.
Make a persuasion check.
Persuasion 24.
With his persuasion, she nods sanguinely and says 75 will be fine. So that was 150 gold for the 2.
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay.
Do the math. So I have. I'm bad at math.
Just mark off 150 gold.
Yep.
And you now have 2 very nice, overpriced bottles of Old Spice.
Definitely overpriced, but
Yeah, definitely overpriced.
and
Maybe if he had bought the right one, it would have summoned a guy on a unicorn when he opened it.
I mean, the party already has you, a guy on the fake unicorn. What more do you want?
That's true.
You're
No,
a pretty
I was-
princess on a fake unicorn.
I was talking about the Old Spice mascot guy who isn't Terry Crews.
Yeah. But okay. You're also able to find a shop that sells like kabuki masks and things of that nature, of different sizes and shapes, and they do sell more devilish-looking ones. These are all made out of wood. They're simply carved and then painted and lacquered so that they have a nice little shine finish on them.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything that sticks out that anything that really sticks out to me, or anything like that, or are they all just kind of very simple?
You can tell me what you want it to look like, and that's what it looks like. It's not that big a deal. There's quite a few different styles and shapes of masks, but if you've ever seen a kabuki mask, it's kind of like that. But you can
As
find.
you're not looking for something magical, you should be fine.
Yeah,
No, I'm not
exactly.
looking for anything magical.
Now, as far as how much they cost, they tell you that it's 10 gold pieces for one, which is obviously very, very expensive as well, considering it's a carved piece of wood.
Sure. I'll just pay the 10.
I'm just going to pay the 10? Okay.
I don't want to roll again.
No, that's fine. If you want to pay the 10 gold for something that probably would only cost 1, you absolutely can. But you have yourself a fiendish-looking kabuki mask. Tell us what it looks like.
Let's see. Let's see if there's a devil I can take inspiration from.
Oh boy.
It's got sawed-off horns.
Let's see. I think it would kind of look it'd be mostly like a kind of a faint red, not a like in your face red, just kind of a
More subtle, like somewhere between pink and red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it's like almost, it might be almost skin color, but it's definitely redder than normal. But and it would cover the entire face, obviously, and leave the eye holes open. Have a kind of a grinning, actual like grinning teeth with little fangs.
Yeah, that's that classic kabuki style.
Hell yeah.
Red.
I like it.
So bright it punches you in the face.
It'd probably be like a little have like tiny little kind of I don't know how to explain it, but just kind of horn-like bumps on the forehead.
Ooh, like the little itty bitty horns.
Yeah,
The
just
little candy corn horns.
a little bit, like
They're just
especially around
starting
the
to
brow
grow
line.
out.
Yeah, just like right along the hairline, it's just like an inch or so poking out. Yeah.
Not too much.
Dig it.
But
that sounds awesome. Yeah, love it. Okay, and after you're done at the bazaar, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna go try to find your friends, or?
I'm gonna put some of that perfume on, make cloak smell all nice. Hide the mask like somewhere in my backpack.
Yeah.
Somewhere where it won't break immediately.
Okay. So you spray yourself down with your Old Spice and put that and your mask in your backpack and start making your way back towards the inn, hoping to run into Ichabod and Corin and Lapis. Now, I will point out to you that the Cloak of the Mountebank is a magical item. So the brimstone smell that's coming off of you is magic. So while yes, you do scent your body, you also have the brimstone. So it's kind of like a mix. You can catch whiffs of the Old Spice. You catch whiffs of the brimstone as you're walking by, because it doesn't really mask it. It more blends with it.
Sure, as long as it smells like it's not, like
As bad.
Yeah, like it smells like I'm choosing, like it's just a perfume.
Sure, absolutely. And from now on in the campaign, some people are going to comment on it because that's how we do things.
I love how much mileage we're getting out of smells faintly of brimstone.
Hey,
no, I'm going to get so much more mileage.
It's
Just
so
wait.
much mileage.
Oh no.
Just you wait.
This is the theme for the rest of this campaign.
It's so relevant.
Blaznir and how he smells.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody's getting in touch
devil.
with their feminine side.
Love it. Love
Getting
it.
some
No,
perfume.
he's trying to become a devil. He's got the brimstone and
Yeah.
devil mask.
Yeah.
If he doesn't
That's-
like the brimstone, he's trying to hide it.
Well, I'm hiding it just so I can smell as brimstone later on.
Oh, I see.
So
you
it's
want
like
it to
not
be gradual.
yeah, so it's not as noticeable right now, but one day I'm just gonna precipitation the perfume off and smell just like brimstone and have devil
Right.
mask on with a
Like a
hood
Good.
on.
devil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vibes.
It sounds badass. Alright, I'm looking forward to
Devil.
it. Sure.
Yeah. Fiery druid devil. Dig it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, eventually you're making your way back. Ichabod, Corin, the two of you are together, walking away from the bunkhouse, no doubt still fuming, or at the very least,
I'm
disconcerted.
hanging my head
Yeah.
in sadness.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. But what are you doing from here?
Oh, hi, Blaznir.
Hi, doesn't look like everything went well.
Nah.
You doing okay?
Went pretty poorly, in fact. I'm not giving up yet, but I'll tell Blaznir the gist of how it went down. Basically, he's choosing it, which is very problematic for me because it's hard to save somebody from a hell of their own making.
Well, I don't think it's not as bad as you think. I doubt very many people here are innocent, if it is any
I
consolation.
just make that assumption.
I have been.
I accused him of stealing from old ladies, and he did not deny it.
I've been scammed out of 150 gold pieces by an old lady.
Just the idea that I've been walking around this town, I've been robbed in this town, and by guild members in previous towns, and the idea that that's what my son's out here doing is very hard for me to parse.
That's fair, but just keep in mind, it's not. No one here's innocent.
I don't
People
want to
come here because they're not innocent.
Hey, Matt.
What? I
Yes.
can't make that.
While they're saying this, I'll say, well, if you're feeling that bad, then let's go to church. And I'll wink at Blaznir.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I'm gonna start leading towards the church that I need to go to.
I'll
All
follow.
right. I follow.
Okay. So
Dejectedly.
So next off, you're heading towards the Church of Crandage. We'll say on the way you run into Lapis, just so everybody's together again. Because I feel like Lapis hasn't had a lot to do getting a tattoo all day.
Getting a lot of tattoos.
Yeah. So by
We're
this
going to
point,
the evening service.
by this point, you make your way. You circle around towards the inn. Run into Lapis, who now is sporting her cool new tattoo, which means that you
Which
had
goes
to.
invisible afterwards. Or in this world, does it stay?
Does it specifically say in the thing that it's invisible afterwards?
Yeah, all
Okay.
of them do. They disappear.
No, that's the needle.
Yeah, that's the
Yes,
needle.
it's a tattoo.
No, it's a tattoo.
Oh,
gonna
you
show.
know what?
Yeah.
I think I'm just okay. I think I'm just reading like when it ends, it vanishes.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was
Yeah.
just assuming it. Okay, whatever.
So no.
Dope
You
tattoo.
definitely do have a new tattoo on your body. It's probably
And-
taking up most of your body, like on your shoulders and up your neck a little bit. It's probably pretty damn cool looking.
Yeah, and whenever I come up and I see Blazer, I kind of go, just kind of sniff like,
Trying out a new thing.
Oh.
You know.
You,
okay, okay.
she feels a hand that's not actually there suddenly reach out and smack the fresh skin really hard.
Oh God! Like you're not going to take damage because it's only a mage hand, but that does sting.
No, like, not actually me. I was making the joke like what Willow did
Oh,
to
I
me
thought you were
after I
mage
got
Oh.
the tattoo.
I thought you were mage handing it.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Nah.
All right.
You said
I
you
w-
wanted to head to Crandage.
Yes.
I'll also give Lapis the gist so everybody's on the same page.
Okay.
Son
Well-
Borkin, am sad.
Yeah, I'm too sad to lie about it anymore.
Yeah, so go ahead, just since all of you are together, one of you make a persuasion with advantage, because you've never been to the Church of Crandage, you don't know where it is, but it's somewhere here in the city, so let's see how well you do.
I have a
Does
plus
anybody
4.
have higher than a +4?
+8.
Nice, go ahead.
Then go for that.
27.
Oh yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's not difficult. 3 out of 4 of you are well known now here in Rowina, because you just won a tournament championship, so it's not difficult to ask around, and they point you in the right direction. It's more towards the northern side of the city, not too far actually from the Colosseum and the palace, kind of in between the two of them. If you look on the Rowina map, but yeah, as you make your way over to the temple, it is a very large structure, pentagonal in shape, made entirely of sandstone that has been painted and whitewashed so many times. It honestly, it's just bright and gaudy in the afternoon desert sun. There's lots of jewels all over the place, rubies and emeralds, put into the walls in different places. There are monks walking about the grounds, sweeping up the dust and the dirt in the courtyard, or the sand in the courtyard, because it's the desert, making it as traversable as possible. And there are quite a few people going to and from the temple itself. It's one of those, it's kind of like a mosque, if you've ever seen a mosque before. Big building, a few tall towers, one on each of the corners of the pentagon. Big round, I don't even know what to call them at the top. Just that big round shape that kind of teardrops upward. That kind of looks like that. There's a big, wide courtyard all around it, just of sandstone. Like I said, there's monks in tan desert robes, sweeping and keeping the area clean. And there's a lot of beggars out there as well. Pretty much along all 4 lines of the courtyard, keeping to the edge, there's beggars out there asking for alms.
Okay, I'm gonna try and find somebody who actually looks like they work for the church.
But like I said, there are monks out there just sweeping the courtyard. You can go up and talk to one of them. You can just
Sure.
make your way inside. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah, do they have like a service? Do they hold a service, or is it just?
Yeah, like all temples, they do hold a service. It is like I said, it's about 2:00 in the afternoon right now. So there isn't one being held right now. You don't hear any praying or any chanting or anything like that coming from the temple. But you do hear a lot of the people calling for alms around the temple.
Okay, I'll go inside and look for a priest then.
Okay, absolutely.
I'd like to look at all the people calling for alms.
Okay, what do you want to know about the people there?
Can I roll an insight? Maybe not that I think they're all like lying, but I just want to, gods are known to take beggar, like the form of a beggar.
Okay, so basically
you're kind of like religious impulse.
I'm certain if you want to. Yeah. Make an insight check.
19.
So the crowd in the crowd out there, you see some children dirty begging. You see cripples. You see just people down on their luck, dirty, smelly types. You can see drunks and things of that nature. But the thing that does stand out about the people out there is, I will remind you, this is this capital of the Thieves Guild. And it probably 1 out of every 10 looks a little richer than they should be. As though they're not really out there. It's more of a job. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'd like to give to a family that I don't suspect of being Thieves Guild members. A family with children.
Yeah, with your 19, you can spot a young human woman, or not young, an older human woman, very frail looking, lank hair, dirty, smelly, but has several kids kind of crawling around them. There's one at least crying in the corner, and she's shushing at the same time, holding out her bowl, and the kids are kind of holding out little bowls, looking for collection as well.
You should have made it a tiefling family.
I give them 3 gold pieces. Not so much that they'll get robbed for it. So.
Well, even 3 gold pieces is quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
But the moment you put the money in the bowls.
Try to do it discreet.
Yeah. Make a sleight of hand check for me.
Mm-hmm. So they'll see I'm giving, but hopefully not what I'm giving. 17.
17. That's pretty damn good. The coins disappear as quickly as they hit the bowl. Because the woman's eyes will go wide and grab it and hide the fact that she's got it. But yeah, I'd say that you kind of look around and nobody was really paying too much attention to you. More like shying away in fear of the heavily armored man.
It does little to salve my soul, so I go inside.
Okay. Well, inside the temple, there are people that are like just in pews, sitting around reading. There's a few people at prayer tables and that sort of thing. You do see a few priests and monks walking around. All of them wearing the same. Like you know what Gregorian monks look like, with just the brown robes cinched, tied with rope. That's basically what they look like, but their colors are more tan, like for desert wear. There's quite a few different races represented within the priesthood. There's both men and women there, priests and priestesses. A couple humans, a few dwarves, and at least one tiefling are all members here. And in fact, the tiefling is standing up near the altar towards the back of it. You can see that big statue of Crandage in the back. just kind of filling up the main part of the temple. The tiefling is in front of that at an altar, kind of just cleaning and arranging things along that. And as you all step inside, one of the dwarven priests walks up to you. With dwarves, it's always hard to tell gender since they both have beards, but this one has a bit more of a chest, so you're guessing it's female. But the dwarf walks up to you and says in a gruff voice, "Welcome to the Temple of Crandage. How can I help you?"
Good day. I am looking to speak with someone in a Temple of Crandage that is located in Ranivika, sorry. I was wondering if there was anyone here who might know the coordinates to get there.
The priest kind of scratches his beard in a confused sort of way and says, "Well, you already know that it's in Ranivika. I can show you on the map where Ranivika is, if that'll help you."
I didn't know if it was large enough to have a circle for teleportation or not.
The dwarf, hearing that, kind of just gives a little bit of a scowl. And they say, "Well, even if there was one, why would we just give it to someone off of the street?"
Oh, I wasn't saying that you would give it to me. I was simply thinking that you might allow me to make use of it once.
Well, so just to remind you how teleportation circles work. The teleportation circle is an anchor to land in that place, but you have to cast the spell knowing it.
Right, but if they've got somebody who can cast the spell instead...
Oh, so you're asking them to teleport you?
If they don't want to give me the coordinates because they seem unhappy with that, I'm saying I would just as easily accept, being teleported there. It does not matter.
What would we have to do to get permission to do
what works for you guys, basically?
Okay. Now I'm understanding what you're trying to do. So the dwarf definitely says that this is a bit above their pay grade, but asks you to wait a little bit, and
Sure.
And so you sit there kind of awkwardly watching as the dwarf moves away, goes up to the tiefling up at the altar, whispers something to them. They kind of whisper something back. Then the dwarf starts walking away, and the tiefling, you're expecting that to be the head priest. It's not. He's just continuing to do his work. But about 25 minutes later, you see an individual who at first you think is human, but they have a bald head and their eyes seem to radiate an internal glow. You realize this is actually an ASMR man who's approaching you. And he has a big chain around his neck with the symbol of Crandage on a big gold medallion. He has several rings on each of his fingers, and his robes are actually white and brown. He has kind of like a bit of a shawl.
The actual pimp now.
Mm-hmm. You definitely did. He walks up to you and he says, "I understand that you are asking about our temple in Ranivika."
Yes, I am not particularly a follower of Crandage, but I am certainly open to making a donation to the church if there is a way that we can get there much more quickly.
He says, "Unfortunately, there is no teleportation circle to the temple in Ranivika, so I'm afraid we could not help you. However, we do have a bit of a teleportation network, but I'm afraid that is only used by temple staff. It is not open to the public."
I see, not even for donation to the cause.
Make a persuasion check.
Sure.
Guidance.
Alright. I am on a laptop, so give me just a second.
Yeah, no worries. Anesthetic is in chat. She's giving her inspiration to Ichabod.
Yikes.
Thank you.
So that's a 12.
Yeah, so with your 12, the priest kind of scowls a little bit more and he says, "No, we do not take bribes of that sort here. Our network is used only for priests to move about the country and spread the will of the Five. We could not allow some admitted non-member of the church, or even someone just of the lower rank of the priesthood, to use the powerful objects that we carry, including our teleportation circles. But as I said, there is not one to Renivika anyway. There is one to Revancia, but I could not allow you to use that."
So how far is Revancia from Renivika?
Oh, actually, it's on the other side of the continent. That's the capital city of
Right.
of Hyrule.
Yeah, no, I've already got the... Yeah, okay. Well, if they had actually had a teleportation circle that was close, then I was going to look around and see if there were any other priests who were watching me and maybe willing to make some coin, but since they don't even have that, then that's not going to work. So I'll just look at everybody else and go, well, I suppose they don't actually have the means to assist me then. I'll simply have to find just another way to get there faster.
It's a shame. I was hoping to spread the word of the Five over there. Oh well.
Alright.
The priest just raises an eyebrow at you as though, like, yeah, sure. He's fairly insightful, and
No, I know. I'm just messing with him.
I, on the other hand, require a quiet place to pray and some spiritual contemplation. For real.
He looks over at you, and you watch his eyes kind of go down your regalia.
Yeah,
he says,
I've turned so that he can better behold. Yeah, that's right. I'm a servant of the Father.
A servant of the Father is, of course, welcome here at the Temple to the Five. We do have a room set aside for Balrus that, if you wish, you can feel free to use.
I should like to do so.
Okay. He kind of nods his head a little bit. He snaps his fingers and gestures, and that dwarf that you had been speaking to earlier shuffles up, and he says, "Take this devout believer of Balrus to the Balrus contemplation chamber. He will be using it, and you may watch." Or stand. Not watch. That's not. No, that's the wrong word.
Guard.
Not guard either, but be available for you if you need. So keep an eye on you as well.
Do I know what an Aasimar is?
I would assume so. Yeah, an Aasimar is someone of celestial lineage.
Now,
So,
I would be smart enough to know that they're not like necessarily bound by that, right? Aasimar are Aasimars can be whatever alignment.
Yes, absolutely. Aasimar tieflings, they're just a race that has lineage from a particular point. It's somewhere along his lineage. There is some celestial in him.
Yep.
So. Aasimar tieflings, they're well known. They're standard race here in Loroupa.
Sorry, my dog's barking.
No worries.
I'm curious to ask him. Perhaps if he knows that lineage. I presume it was Crandage in your long line. If you don't mind me saying so.
He gives you a odd and surprised look when you say that, Crandage. No, the goddess Crandage is not in my lineage at all. And he kind of, like, you can, without rolling insight, you can kind of tell he looks a little offended. He says,
"My apologies, sir. I did not mean to offend you. It was purely curiosity on my part as someone so devout to the five as you."
He says that one of my ancestors was indeed a celestial, one of the angelic line, which is, I suppose you can very easily tell by my appearance. But no, I do not have any relation to the divine ones.
That clears that up. I walk away into the room.
Ichabod,
Yes,
you'll be praying for a while, yes?
If all goes right.
Right, then I'm going to go to market, I suppose.
Okay.
That's
As long
fine by
as
me.
you have no need of us here.
Nah, this
Blaznir.
is between me and Bowers.
Would you two like to assist me?
Sure. I've got nothing to do. I bought some things already, but you know, might as well.
Yeah.
I'll be your eye on the streets.
Okay. So the three of you are heading to the bazaar?
Yeah, as long as they're willing. Eye on the streets and fist on the streets. Make sure we don't get
We can't hear
pickpocketed.
you. We can't hear you, Brandie. Okay. Brandie's trying to talk, but she's on mute. Can any of you hear her?
Nope.
Nope.
Lapis. ¿Dónde está?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
She's yeah. For some reason her mic's just not working now. She was saying that she wanted to go to the bazaar to go shopping as well.
Is it working now?
Sure.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Hello.
Okay, apparently it was just barely pulled out of my computer. Like the headphone jack, just barely.
Nice. So basically what I'm going to be looking for, Matt, is obviously they're selling all types of things. So I figure I'm going to try and find somebody with some magical influence and see if I can't find anybody who can, sell me directions. Obviously, since he said there's no actual circle in Ranivika, then I can't go there directly. But if I can find, even teleportation coordinates to a place that is closer.
Well, you can always try. So you're heading to the
Yes.
bazaar specifically to look for anyone with magical inclination. Well, there are some. There are people who sell magical items and that sort of thing. So the three of you are heading to the bazaar to start scoping that out. Now, Ichabod,
Yes.
you are led to a small room where a statue of Walrus, looking very different from what you're used to, is placed. This one is it almost gives you Zeus vibes, or it would give Brie Zeus vibes. Big curly beard, tall but with a pot belly, wearing a toga, holding a big fireball, and like as you gaze up at the face, you can't help but reflect that the face is very stern and almost angry looking.
See, that's the Bowers I do know in the face there.
Absolutely.
Very-
Apart from that,
very-
there's like there's prayer rugs and pillows and cushions and benches that you can move around and things like that. And there's a few windows out to the outside that you can see outside as well. And
Where's
like
his even more pissed off wife who's pissed off from all the bastards that he's made over the years.
Ilmentress.
It seems that each god has their own separate chamber, while Crandage itself is featured here in the one that's mostly prayed to. Each of the 5 gods is represented at every temple in some way, shape, or form. So, as big as this temple is, it's not surprising that each one has its own room.
Well, it's very fitting that this is a mosque, because I've always had a very Muslim style of prayer where you lay out the rug and get down on your knees and press your head to the floor. So I do so. I do my little motions, and then I would like to speak in my prayer to Valros and say, Father, I have reached a kind of conundrum unlike any I've faced while in your service. I've given everything to you, all that I have, everything in your name. And in return, it seems I've lost everything in my name. So I'm begging now for some kind of clarity. One, that this is what you want, that I'm doing your will truly, because it's clear to me that you're kind of up for interpretation now that I'm not golfing anymore. I just want to know that I'm doing the right thing, but in truth, losing my eldest son, it might just be a step too far for me.
Okay. So as you kneel there praying, pouring your heart out, we're going to turn to Blaznir, Lapis, and Corin.
Commercial break. Wah, wah, wah.
But now, specifically, you said, Corin, that you're looking for somebody who has magical knowledge. So, before you do that, just go ahead and roll an Arcana check for me.
Sure.
And Lapis, what were you wanting to look for at the bazaar?
I mean, it's nothing really super exciting. I was wanting to get a small bag of holding or something for my monies.
27.
Or maybe a coin purse of holding, perhaps?
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to tell you to look for. So for 2,000 gold after dickering, because I don't want to do too much more with that, you are able to get a smaller bag of holding that's called a purse of holding, where if each person puts their money in, it can hold up to... basically, for 4 people, it could hold up to 100,000 worth of coin. So,
Nice.
and it has little pockets. So you could actually divide it amongst 4.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So for 2,000 gold, I'm giving you an easy way to carry around your money until you spend it.
Yay.
So, you can divide that 2,000 however you want. One of you can just buy it. It's fine. If you want a bag of just another bag of holdings, I think you only have one. And I'm not gonna lie, you're carrying around a ton of crap right now, so that bag is pretty fucking full.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to get another one, you could look for that as well. But
How much would that be?
let me look real quick.
I can't even find a bag of holding.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of stuff on my character sheet.
So a bag of holding is expensive. Here in Rowina, if you don't want to try to barter and just get to a middle ground price, it's going to cost you 8,000 gold.
8,000.
Almost worth it.
Can I make a
Yeah,
check to
but-
see what the actual price should be?
Do the dickering.
Yeah, if you want to do the dickering, we absolutely can.
Sure.
Also, I would contribute towards another bag of holding.
Yeah, because I was going to say, if we split that up amongst the 4 of us, that's 2,000 each. And if we would have split up for the smaller one, it'd be 2,500 each. I don't mind. I don't mind
guess that's
contributing
fair.
2,500.
Yeah.
2,000, right?
So
2,500.
Yeah, 2,500
Yeah,
if each of you chip in for the purse.
Oh,
as
you're
well.
saying total.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, total.
I was
for-
like,
for the
what?
both.
For a new bag of holding and the little purse thingy.
I
as
still
well.
think you should dicker for the new bag of holding, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. Too.
8,000
Either
is a
way.
lot of money.
Either way.
No, I'm telling you that was
that would
a
be the
lowered
middle
price.
ground?
That's the middle
Oh,
ground
okay.
price.
Well, then
They start
fine.
their they start their dickering at 12,000
Then, yeah,
gold.
Okay, we'll assume that you
8,000 is
dicker.
fine.
Okay, I'm fine with
Yeah,
that.
So
that's-
I'm going to subtract 2,500.
2,500 from each of us.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, 2,500 for each of you. Get your party a second bag of holding and a coin purse of holding. That way, so really, what you should do that way, your character sheets aren't like covered in coin, and all of them say you're overweight. Just instead of putting your coin in on your character sheet, I'll give you another handout, and you put it on the journal.
Yeah. Anyways, so yes. I got a 27 on that Arcana check.
Okay, so wrong button. Okay, there's your coin purse of holding. So with your 27, you went to the Arcane Institute. You're well aware of how magic works. And while yes, most capitals do have a teleportation circle that is owned by that's owned and managed by whoever runs that country, and some well-placed wizards tend to have them. And sure, yeah, you definitely know that now that the Church of the Five has their own. These are like highly protected, highly secretive items, because if anyone who knows the address to it can just pop in whenever the hell they want. So 9 times out of 10, unless you're a member of that club or guild or whatever, they don't allow just people off the street to use them ever.
Yeah.
How you get that sort of thing is either becoming a member and working your way up. For example, the Erudite Conclave, they have their own teleportation network that they use, and Lapis is someone who technically has access to that, and I believe they gave you a circle address at one point.
Yes.
But if she wasn't a member, you wouldn't have that. So the odds of finding someone who's willing to let you use it, unless you've already met that person, pretty much astronomical.
Okay. What about somebody who is stronger who could just teleport us there instead, with like not needing a circle, or even just a scroll that I could try and use?
Let me look at the teleportation spell.
Sure. If you need to get back to me on it, that's fine.
Okay, so like the teleportation spell, just a spell teleport. Let's see, willing creature you can see to a destination you select. The destination, even with the teleportation spell, you would know the destination you choose must be known to you and must be on the same plane of existence. Your familiarity with the destination determines whether or not you arrive there successfully. So you can probably find someone to sell you a teleport scroll, and you can attempt it, and you might get close, you might be really far, because you know that it exists, you know that it's on the map, and you have a map that shows where it is, so you're at least vaguely familiar with it, but it's always a gamble.
That's fair.
But if you want to get a scroll for that, you can certainly try it.
Okay, are there rules for using a scroll that you don't have the ability to cast yet?
That's the cool thing about scrolls, is as long as you have the arcane ability to cast it, you can do so. A paladin could not use the teleport scroll because he does not use that type of magic.
It has to be on your class list.
Yes.
And then if it's like higher than your level, you would have to make a check.
Okay. How much are they asking for a teleport scroll?
Let's see. Make an investigation check. Let's see if they have one here.
Sure. No, I'm not trying to use tool. I have...
Holy fuck! Don't bother. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll. I read it wrong.
Yikes. Only an 11 because I rolled a 2.
Yeah. Unfortunately, here in the bazaar, you're like asking around, and there's a few people who who do sell scrolls, and you go up and ask them, and every time you do, you're told the same thing. Now, I don't have a scroll that powerful. Because it is a very rare rarity.
Yeah,
so with an 11, unfortunately, you are unable to find it, and you spend basically the same length of time that Ichabod is praying. You spend walking around the bazaar asking.
That's fine. I'm assuming that obviously, the next question I would ask would be, okay, well, do you know anybody who might? And
yes.
They would probably say no. Yeah,
they would say no, based on your roles. That they just don't know anyone in the bazaar who's selling it, because that is a very high.
It's a high level spell.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So the DC was pretty high for it, but yeah.
Yeah, I have a good bonus. I just rolled a 2, so yeah.
It happens sometimes, unfortunately. But the point I was making about time is that it's about 3, a little after 3 in the afternoon. By this point, you're getting frustrated going around the bazaar looking. Blaznir has spent most of his time with just his passive perception, keeping an eye out, while Lapis was buying a few things. Specifically, was there anything else you were wanting to get, Lapis, before I continue?
No, honestly, that was it, because I had way too much money.
Perfect. Okay, so here's the deal. As you're all finishing up, Ichabod, you are at the temple. You've been on your knees, and you're just yelling out, "Give me some sign that what I'm doing here is right." And almost on cue, a sign happens. With a scream. A loud scream. Like, imagine 20 people all at once screaming in terror. Is the sound you hear from the outside of the temple.
Yikes.
We're gonna have to cut this one short, Father. And I put my hat on and run outside.
You put your hat on and go running outside. And the moment you step outside and look around, it's pandemonium. People are running out from the temple just as you are, and you're kind of having to push and prod to get through. Make an athletics check for me.
Alright. So even 10.
Even 10. And it's still enough. You're kind of going with the crowd. And you don't lose your feet or anything like that. Yeah, you're definitely getting a little jostled. But as you step outside and look around, people are screaming, people are yelling, people are pointing, and you look up and see just a gigantic shadow, gargantuan even, flying overhead, and just this huge wave of thunderous energy smashing into the town.
Sapphire Dragon?
The dragon?
Your heart plummets in your chest as you see the gigantic form of a dragon. It's in the sun, so you can't quite make out the color of it. It's just like you see the shape and the shadow of it, and that shadow just passes overhead, clouding the area you're standing for a minute as it flies upward with a loud, screeching roar. Which I'm going to do right.
I'm not sure what that kind of message this is.
Y'all done fucked up, Ron.
Oh, it's not. My dragon roar is not working.
Well, it worked. I heard it.
Oh, you heard it? It just didn't. For me, that's weird. Maybe I'll reload roll 20. But anyway, you see a giant dragon attacking the city. Its breath, just this huge wave of concussive force smashing into buildings, kind of far away. But it's far enough away you're not being hit by the blast, but you just feel that huge wave of air that's pushed back, and it blows your hat off and whips your cloak about. Blaznir, Lapis, and Corin, you hear about the same time the scream as the entire bazaar just screams in terror, pointing upward, seeing the exact same thing.
I already know what it is, but it's a sapphire dragon.
Well, like I said, it's in the sun, so you can't see the fact that it's blue, but you're pretty reasonably certain that this gargantuan thing flying overhead is indeed a sapphire dragon.
Yep. So Rhim found out, we busted into his hoard, and now he's pissed.
So the Zaim has one of these?
It wasn't actually ever the Zaim's treasure vault. I mean, it is, but it's the dragon's hoard. He's a dragon, and that's his hoard.
Oh, shit.
Well, I'll remind you, you three are at the bazaar. Ichabod, you're by yourself.
Yeah, I don't know
so
nothing
you don't
about
know nothing about this, but you definitely see the biggest fucking dragon you've ever seen in your life.
My first thought is going to go to my family, so I know where, like, the whereabouts of their house. So is this anywhere near the house?
Is it near there? No.
Is it okay?
You're in the northwestern quadrant. They lived in the southeastern, but you do know how to get there from here.
Well, if it's not near to them, then I'm feeling good about that. But then I think of my son, and I will try to locate object on that scale, just to see if I can tell where his whereabouts are, so I know if he's safe or not.
I'm just gonna try and help people get under cover because the bazaar is pretty open, and even if the concussive force blasts aren't too near us, there's still gonna be blowback.
Oh yeah,
I don't want people to die.
No, people are freaking out and running and screaming, and you can definitely start helping, picking people up off the ground, trying to guide them in some direction. Now, the dragon isn't near you right now. It's to the north. Ichabod's much closer to it than the rest of you because he stayed at the temple, and the temple is in between the palace and the Colosseum.
Then I will look at the other two and go, we've got to go get to Ichabod.
Is this
if
your
he's
problem?
Closer to it? What?
Do I know anything about design? I don't know. I want to ask if...
Only if Corin tells you.
Yeah, did you tell us about Zaim being dragon? Possibly, or having one?
If we ever had a moment to be, like, alone, yeah.
Well, I mean, you all went to bed at the same place, but did you ever actually sit down and talk about what happened in the vault?
I'll just pull them close since there's so much noise that nobody's going to be paying attention. I'll just be like, that is the Zaim.
Do you need something to cover your face, just in case?
Those were his. We've got to
What? No,
closer.
Well, I understand that. I just have a mask that you can wear if you need it, but we should probably get to Ichabod. Get out of here.
Yeah.
That does not.
So I'm taking this as my sign from Balrus, though I don't know what it means. So I want to get closer to see if I can if I can try to discern a little more meaning out of it. Like, is this, oh, you need to take care of this because you're doing my will, or is this like, I don't know.
So you're trying to get closer to the dragon?
Oh yeah, I want to see what's going on.
Okay, so you go running to the north.
I can't tie this into my prayer and think I'm not curious about it.
Hey, you can be as curious as you want to. You go running to the north. You can see the dragon is circling around overhead, and you just hear this loud bellow in a language. It's probably just in common. You just hear scream really loud from the dragon. Infidels! And he unleashes another blast that just smashes buildings. You can see like dust clouds being thrown up overhead. Debris is flying everywhere. And as you're just running full force to the north, as people are running reasonably away from all of this. You're being showered down on by dust and
Okay.
bits
So
and stuff.
It's clear that he's just like destroying buildings indiscriminately.
Yes, that's that, without an insight. Yes, he is absolutely just destroying things indiscriminately in fury.
All right. Well, then, can I roll an insight?
Sure. What would you like to? What you're trying to glean from this?
Well, and just in case it's anything deeper than that, just the way you said that, without an insight, it's
Oh
indiscriminate.
no, I'm saying you don't need to roll an insight to know the fact that this is a gigantic, pissed off dragon and is just like ravaging the city underneath its wings.
Okay. In that case, I stop and I turn around and I'm gonna run to Prudence's house.
Okay. You turn and you start running to the south. Like you're just covered now in dust and shit.
Hopefully this will knock some sense into them.
Blaznir, Corin, Lapis, where are you three heading? Because you said you want to look for Ichabod.
Yeah.
At
How
least
far?
one of us has been to his wife's house because they
Have
were
they?
following him.
Has anyone been there?
Yeah, Lapis has.
Yeah,
Lapis went with me when I dropped off the money.
and family is most important to him. So
So your first thoughts is Prudence's, huh? Yeah, I dig it. So you look over to Lapis. Lapis, do you have a way to remember where Prudence's place was, like the Wanderer ability or the or Keen Mind or anything like that?
I do have the Wanderer ability background, yes.
Okay, yeah, read off that for us.
I have an excellent memory for maps and geography, and can always recall the general layout of terrain, settlements, and other features around you.
Yeah, then boom, you know exactly where Prudence is and know how to get there. So all of you go running off, heading to the southeast, making your way towards what you believe to be Prudence's place. You know exactly where you're going. Ichabod, you've been there a few times.
Yeah,
Go
I've been
ahead.
there several times now.
Yeah. Yep. Just give me a quick survival check. The DC's pretty low.
13.
Yeah, you're good. You go running off, heading to the south. You know exactly where Prudence is. And a lot of people are running too.
Mm-hmm.
The dragon, every 5 minutes or so, you just hear another whoosh as another area of the city is just blowing up behind you from the concussive force of this dragon.
Man, I wish Salvatore was here.
Oh, where is Salvatore? That's a good question.
He died, and I still have to summon him.
Oh, that's right. He did die. But anyway, you're just hurrying as quick as you can. It takes you a little bit of time. But eventually, all three of you, like, I imagine Ichabod is coming directly from the north. Blaznir, Lapis, and Corin were making their way more in an southeastern direction. And so the three of you, like, just collide in the middle of one street as people are just running in terror.
Yeah, dragon attack is happening. What are y'all doing here?
that is the Zahim. We need to get the hell out of here.
I don't know if my business here is done yet. I gotta talk to Prue.
If we're not careful, your life will be done here.
Alright, if I lose my family, my life is done. So I walk inside Prudence's house, because it's just a curtain. So
Yeah, so you continue to make your way, all three of you running at top speed, trying to get there. And I'm going to move you to a different map.
not a map.
I always do maps. Okay, there you go. You all should be able to see yourselves now.
Sure do.
Okay, and to the south is the house with the flowers in front. This one, next to it.
This one.
Yep. You come running up and you stop just in time to see that big open window that you Winnie the Pooh'd through that's kind of dug out and broken inward.
No problem.
So you go running up to the door. There is no door, just a curtain. You throw it aside, and as you're doing that, what is your passive perception?
13.
13. So you do, as you're running up, as you throw open the curtain, you do hear voices, raised voices, inside there. You step inside to see your wife, Prudence, standing behind a table, with Fear Not right next to her, and a man that you stop up short because he's familiar to you. You see a tall, pink-skinned man with long horns that sweep backwards and dark black hair pulled in behind him in a bit of a ponytail. He's wearing very flashy garb, light blues and purples. It is the MC.
Oh, I can't stand this guy. What? They're in there yelling?
Well, as you're walking in, the voices finally start to reach your ears, and the MC is saying, "Prue, we must leave immediately. The dragon out there is going to level the entire city. He's enraged. We've got to get out of here now. We can hide in the desert, please. We've got to leave." And Prudence or Fear Not is standing there next to him, saying, Mom, the dragon's up there. The dragon, it's going to destroy us all." And Prudence is saying, I understand what y'all are saying, but we have to go find Ishmael first. And then all three of them just stop because the door came open and Prudence sees you, and her mouth just drops.
Did
Alright.
someone call for a miracle?
Sounds like we all got some explaining to do.
Yeah, the MC looks back at you, Ichabod, and his eyes narrow. And Sykes.
Yeah. I don't remember your name, sir. Because you were so irrelevant. So why don't you go on and introduce yourself?
It's almost as if I've described this guy multiple times throughout.
Yeah, but he's irrelevant. He's nobody.
Well, now he's obviously somebody.
Yeah, he's obviously involved with my wife.
But
he's going to get murdered.
He turns back and he's like ignoring you for a second. He said, "Prudence,
Oh, hell no.
Prue, regardless of these idiots storming in here, we have to get out of here now. Please go gather up your things. We have to go. We can find Ishmael."
If we can locate Ishmael, I can teleport us all out of here, sir.
Yeah, I think you should leave the finding Ishmael to me.
I give a little bit of disdain at the sir for him referencing me as an idiot. But
Oh, it's everything in my power not to attack this guy right now. I'm literally like, say one more thing, please.
emphasis on the I can teleport us all out of here.
Make a persuasion check, Corin.
Guidance.
Yep.
Yeah,
Blaze, you're gonna...
a 10. Total of a 10.
Wow. Well, it's a good thing I literally set the DC at 10 if you mention a teleportation circle. God, it's actually in my notes, DC 10 with teleportation circle.
Yep.
You say this, and the MC's eyes go over to you, Corin, as you're standing in the doorway, and he says, "You have a teleportation circle."
Yes.
He looks back at Prudence. "Prue, this may be our only chance. I think we should listen to him." Prudence looks back at Ichabod, and she puts her hands on her hips, and you can see that stubborn streak
I'm shaking
coming up.
with rage. Say one thing.
I'll just look at her and go, "You don't have to like him to accept my offer that will allow you to live."
Please, let's not fight here.
Yeah, I'm
now.
certain most of us will get out of this alive. If you
Ichabod,
just follow our plan.
fighting is bad course of action. We will just cause us to.
Oh, yeah,
linger and die.
You're one to talk, Blaznir.
And
I suggest you just stay out of this one, alright? I really don't want to. I really don't care about the opinion you have on it. Okay. I do agree. Priority number 1 is finding my son Ishmael. Priority number 2 is cutting this man's head off. He ain't coming with us. That much is true. I promise you that.
Oh, the moment you say all that shit, you just basically fucked over every good intention Blaznir was trying here, and you actually see Prudence move past the MC and puts herself between you and him, and she puts her hands on her hands have been on her hips the whole time, and she says, "You will have to go through me to get to him, Ichabod."
Fine, you're a package deal, okay? What matters is finding Ishmael.
Brie, you're just wearing a hat, not like a helmet or anything, right?
Well, I'm presumably wearing plate, you know.
Yeah, I mean, she does have the full plate armor, but you wear a hat, so I imagine you're not wearing a helmet.
Yeah, but if that's
slap Ichabod right in the face.
That's like the worst thing you can do right now.
Sorry, what are you doing, Corin?
Slapping Ichabod right in the face and saying, "Get a hold of yourself. Our lives are more important than your silly anger right now."
You say as another explosion, not too far from where you all are right now, and the entire the ground shakes. The building that you're standing in now shakes a little bit, and dust kind of starts falling from the ceiling.
Fine, Corin. This works well because I just changed my bond with Corin. So it says, "He has feelings for me, that much is clear. Nonetheless, he is a man of conviction, loyal to a fault, and one of my closest friends. I defer to his intelligence on many matters. So I will defer to your intelligence on this one, because I know I'm not thinking clearly. I just want to find Ishmael. That's all I want."
Right. Let us find the sun, and then I shall get us all out of here. I put emphasis on the all for Mr. Tiefling and his wife.
Well, hearing all of your arguments, he's already turned and looking at Prudence and Fear Not, and he says, "Fear not, go upstairs and grab whatever you can. Prudence, you as well. I'll gather anything I can in here. I already have everything I need." And he pats a small sack that's on his belt that all of you recognize to be a bag of holding. She looks back at Ichabod again. I'm going to make a persuasion check with Mavesies, because that's his name, Mavesies.
I'll look back at Prue, and I'll say, "You know, I would do anything to keep this family safe."
That wasn't supposed to be an advantage, but I'll allow Ichabod. Well, either way, it's a 23. But yeah,
so
with
kind of because I said that in the heat of the moment, but I still want her to come with, even if I do want. You know, we'll decide on that later.
Yeah, absolutely. She looks. You're watching as she looks at Mavesie's eyes, and finally she nods her head, and she grabs Fear Not's arm and says, "Fear Not, come with me, quick." And the two of them go running up into the stairs. And I think that's a great place to end things for this evening.
Hooray.
The fucking MC is like the dumbest idiot to ever get cucked by, so this is the worst. This guy is such a piece of shit on the bottom of my shoe. No joke.
Wow.
I think it's hilarious, personally.
It is absolutely hilarious. It was the best possible choice because he is such a nobody who Ichabod disdained from the first moment he saw him.
Yeah.
I was like, I hate this flashy son of a bitch.
So, and you've been seeing if you remember the first time you went and talked to Prudence at the soup kitchen, you saw that the same tiefling I described in the exact same way walking out, and you bumped into him and you gave him a dirty look.
Oh, he was walking in.
No, he was walking out. Yeah. No, he was walking out as you walked in.
Yeah,
so,
we were made to have beef.
Yep. So, I've been putting this guy in your way the entire time, and that's why.
Bastard.
So, I know it. I am. But thank you to everyone who watched this evening. This has been a lot of fun, a lot of role play, and I absolutely loved it. I hope you did too. Come back and hang out with us next Monday at 3 o'clock when we find out whether or not they're able to get out of Rowina in the middle of a dragon attack, and whether or not Ichabod tries to kill Mavesies.
We'll see.
We'll find out, yeah.
His fate is in the balance.
So, once again, thank you to everyone who watched. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Good night.